welcome to the very first episode of Get Ahead with Anna Jed. And today I have my very first interview with Sara, which I'm very excited about. My podcast is all about balancing content creation. This is insane. This is so surreal. This is actually happening.
Is this how it works?
Oh my god. It feels so weird to be doing this because now it's real.
I feel like an adult, you know?
Okay.
Because sometimes doing UGC feels like a child, you know? She's just making videos.
Yeah, things you like.
My mom, she sometimes refers to me as jobless. And I'm like, Mom, I'm making money out of making videos. And she's like, huh? Like, that's for kids.
So, let's dive in. Sara, could you introduce yourself as if a friend were to introduce you?
First of all, thank you so much. I said this like, I'm gonna say this at the end, but I'm so happy to be here. Introduce myself as a friend. I think they would all say that I'm like very positive, happy, smiling, like a bubbly person, you know. I have a bubbly personality. And I hope they would all say that I'm hardworking.
Fair.
Please say I'm hardworking.
It's actually really funny because that was my first impression of you as well, because we met at Creator Fest, which is like an event for content creators, and we did some workshops. Yeah, you were very excited and like very willing to share your knowledge and tips and tricks.
I like that. I think my passion, or like where I get a lot of energy from, is it's not helping people, because in a way it's helping, but it's also just like sharing. And like sometimes I feel like I can give a lot better advice to you than to myself, and I'm like, why am I not implementing this in my life, you know? Like, what's going on?
So what is it that you do right now?
I'm trying to be full-time UGC creator. Yeah, that's what I'm basically trying to do. And it's very hard.
Yeah. And if we would go back to the beginning of your journey, how did it all start out?
I think that I would have to go like back, like 2 years ago, because this actually, I'm someone who believes that everything happens for a reason, right? So one thing led to the other, and how I got to UGC was basically, I've always been like a corporate girl, so I've always had like a very good corporate job, from team leader to account manager. I studied university to get my degree so I can climb the corporate ladder. And then 2 years ago, I had a burnout. The private life, with the amount of pressure I get at work, because the thing is, like, this sounds maybe a little bit messy that I'm explaining it, but like, the thing is that people use I have a burnout like very like, oh, I just have a burnout, you know. They don't understand that the true definition of burnout is that you are mentally, physically, and emotionally so exhausted that you are absolutely unable to do any job, anything. Like, you're not washing the dishes, you're not washing your hair, you're not getting out of your bed. I was so paralyzed. I didn't talk to my friends, I didn't get out of the bed, and it was just a result of me I was devastated in my private life. Like, I was completely devastated. I went through a really, really hard times in my private life with the guy that was supposed to be father who didn't want it to be father, and then me going through everything completely alone. Like, at every stage of it, there was one of my friends there always. So I'm really grateful for the people who were there for me that time. But like, my parents don't know about this, you know. So if they ever gonna watch this podcast, they're gonna be like, oh my God. Like, I feel like I went through a rock bottom, like complete rock bottom, where I was like every day thinking that maybe I shouldn't even be here, you know? Like, I had really, really heavy suicidal thoughts. Actually, that's why I have such a love-hate relationship with Leiden, because I used to work at the office in Leiden, and I was at the station every day thinking like, you know, if I jump, like, nobody's gonna know, you know? I was so deep in, I had such a deep, I don't want to say depression, because I think it's like a medical thing, you know? So I was not diagnosed as depressed, but I had such a heavy thoughts, like every single day. It was drowning me crazy. And it took me a therapy session and a very long time to figure out that I don't want to work for a corporation. So the company let me build my hours back. But when I was building up the hours, I was already looking into, how do I make money? Like, how do I make money not having all the pressure from the company, being able, like, if anything, if situations like this happen in your life, like, life is short, you know, things happen, like, maybe tomorrow, God forbid, but like maybe tomorrow something happens and it can paralyze people, you know. So like, how do I still keep on paying for my stuff when I'm not 100% fully able to perform at my job? And the employer is going to be like, well, you know, they didn't prolong my contract because they would have to give me a permanent contract, and I was a risk to the company because I was on a sick leave, having burnout officially to the company. So there was extremely difficult times, and I just went on Google and I just started to Google, like, how do you make money? I was literally like, how do I make money? And then I don't know, I was just, I feel like Instagram was hearing all my thoughts and all my...
They listen, the algorithm,
But for sure, because I started to get like, I signed up with the e-commerce. I bought a course from them. They're a very nice e-commerce community, Kian and Milo, KM community. And I signed up with them last year. And basically they taught me completely everything from paid advertisement to UGC to how to build your own website, branding. Like, this course was like full of knowledge. And first of all, it kept me busy on the most difficult days, which I'm very happy for. And it also just opened another door and a perspective. And that's how I basically, I mean, it's super funny because one day there was a guy and he was like, why don't you do UGC? You're pretty, like, you can do it. And I was like, what is UGC? Like, huh?
Yeah.
And that's how it started, literally. So my first video, I had no clue what I was doing. He was like, I'm going to send you a dress. Could you please, like, you know, make a video? And I was like, sure, like, fine. And I just did it. And he was like, okay, that's cool. I'm going to send you jacket next week. Do you want to do it? I was like, so that's basically how I started. And like, a lot of my clients at the beginning were from the community. So I'm super, super grateful for that. From the e-commerce community. Yeah, that was really, I'm super grateful for that. Yeah.
So it literally took one person to introduce you, and then wow.
Yeah. And also like that one person, but also like the e-commerce course never taught me how to like edit or stuff. And I just somehow, I don't know, like, I think this is something... First of all, you need to have certain spark for it and like certain like desire for it. But on the other hand, there's also things you can learn, you know. So I literally just went on YouTube and I was like, how do I edit videos? Canva, CapCut, this. Oh, okay, let's go, you know. So, and I'm somebody who's just not afraid to do things. Even if I do it completely wrong, I'm like, well, at least I tried. And I think this is something that is like a very big advantage for me, because that way I get to do shit in my life that normal people are like, I would never do that, you know. And I'm like, just go and do it. So it literally took one person, and then the whole community, because there's a lot of people. I think at the moment there's like maybe 1,000 people.
Wow.
And once you start making money, you need UGC. Like, I was just working on my portfolio and I added two reasons why you need UGCs. First of all, it's gonna increase your sales with, I think, 28%. I'm not completely sure. But second of all, people want to buy from people. I don't want to buy from like influencers who have 20,000 euros to make their face pretty. I want to buy from somebody who has real problems like me. You know, like, I have problematic zone here. Can I have a real person giving me advice about this zone? You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, people buy from people, and it increases sales a lot more, like, compared to... I'm not saying influencer marketing or influencers doesn't work anymore, definitely, but I feel like they should sometimes influence us about a lot more important topics in life than a skincare routine.
Yeah, sure. So you had
I told you I talk a lot.
So you had a corporate job, and then they didn't prolong your contract, so you had to find other ways to make money online.
Yeah.
And then you found out about UGC. Yes. So what was the first month like?
I think it was going a little bit like hand in hand, because first of all, it was super chaotic, because so the company let me build up my hours.
Okay.
So I started, you know, I don't know if you know about this, but like, when you're on a sick leave, you know, you're going to discuss with the doctor, and then you're going to start coming back, and you come for 2 hours and 4 hours and all that. And I was trying to build up the hours, and while I was building the hours, I started to take the e-commerce course, because I always wanted to have my own collection for sport clothes. Just because I think that I'm type 1 diabetic, and I think for us there's not enough room Like it sounds very funny, but like I carry my insulin pump on my pants, but like when I train, I don't have it with me because it's in the way. But if there would be a type of pants or something where I could like put it in, because like now I have it on my pants, you know, it's literally like here.
Yeah.
But it would be a lot easier if I could have it when I'm training somewhere with me, because you don't really need it, but it depends on what training are you doing, and that's going a very different topic. But so basically I was learning about e-commerce and how to build my website. I learned how to code. I learned how to do things on Canva and logos and a lot of things. And I just started every day. Like, you know, I was already talking to the guys. I think my first video I did when I was still working there at the company, you know.
Yeah.
But it was very chaotic. Like now when I look back at the whole thing, I would have done every single thing totally differently. I was never entrepreneur, never, but I always knew like I want to have something on my own, you know, like it's either I want to have like one part of collection, or I want to be doing something on my own where I'm the one who can say like, this is what I design and this is what I have done and this is the logo and this is the price and this is the material. So yeah, it was very chaotic. Very chaotic. And it was also a bit like, I think it started somewhere, so I left the company in August. September was still a bit like, oh,
That's previous year.
You know, yeah,
Wow.
previous year.
That's
yeah.
recent. Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean,
It's less than a year. Yeah.
It's not even a year. Yeah, I should give myself a lot more credits than I sometimes do. But I don't know. Then in October, I was still a bit like, oh, you know, I helped somebody with Instagram, and he paid me, and then I did a few videos for the e-commerce guys. And in November, I had an amazing opportunity that was thanks to my parents, and they know someone. It's like acquaintance now. It's a really good friend. She's awesome. She's just has like, she's 3 times my energy, which is like crazy. But she was organizing tours to Zanzibar, and she was like, I need somebody for the content, like come. And I was like, okay, that's so cool.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's doing it still. So I'm very happy that she uses my videos, and she's going to now use it for a paid advertisement as well, hopefully, because she needs some more people to sign up. And we met really, like, Zanzibar is a different life, you know. The people there are, locals are just the most amazing people ever. And whoever says like, oh, it's dangerous, don't go there by yourself, oh my God, please go by yourself. She already knew a guy that does the touring in Czech. He speaks Czech, an African guy, like amazing. He speaks really, like I was really impressed. So they do the touring together basically. And I did the content for her, for the people, potential clients, to see what they can see, what they're going to experience. And she's fire. I can't wait to go with her again. She's crazy. So that was my November. And then December was also quite busy because before Christmas, you know, that's when I start tapping into, I love the e-commerce guys, but it's not well-known brands. You know, how cool would it be if I have in my portfolio some of the big brands, like the big names? That's what I started with in January and in December. And January was obviously very like low month. It was like crazy. Like nobody has money for anything in January. Just trying to find the time to like pitch more clients and actually also figure out where am I going, because, and now talking about it also helps a lot, because last year I did videos for like clothing, cosmetica, jewelry, gym gear, like I did anything, you know. And now I'm like, okay, after the traveling experience, I'm like, okay, I love to do travel, I love to do hotels, I'd love to do restaurants, I love to do experiences, I love to do events.
So you narrow down your niche and what you want to specialize in.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody would now, of course, if I would have one of the previous clients, if they come and they still do, because a lot of them are in fashion, if they would ask me to do something for them, I'd always do it, just because a lot of the guys from the e-commerce community are very, very, very nice people, down-to-earth guys, very hardworking, and some of them I developed very nice relationships with, and I'm so proud of that, because I know it takes 2 people to develop it, you know. So I'm like, okay, it's my personality, but it's also their personality, so it's like for them I would do it. But yeah, and then there is one brand that it's my very big dream. I don't know if you know Meshki.
No.
No, oh, I love them so much. I think they're either Australian or American. And they have on all over their TikTok, like all sizes, all colors, everyone, all personalities.
Clothing?
Yes, which I'm like huge supporter because I'm fed up with beep brands like Zara.
Yeah.
You can peep this out, but like I'm fed up with brands who are promoting like the skinny, tall, really good-looking ladies because that we're going now into the topic of like how it damages somebody's view of themselves, you know, but
body
like
image, yeah.
exactly. So I really absolutely prefer brands that are open to, I think everyone is beautiful, you know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you have any kind of maybe you have some disability, maybe you have some chronic illness, I'm not tall and skinny. I'm short and well built, but I love it, you know. And it took me a very long time actually to love my body, which is crazy because there's people at the gym who are like, "Oh my God, I work out 5 years to have your body." And I'm like, yeah, I was born this way, and they are like so unfair.
Yeah.
And I'm always thinking it's so unfair when somebody's tall, blonde, you know. I'm like, it's so unfair. But yeah.
So that's your dream brand that you want to work with?
Yes. Yes, and I'm gonna be pitching them until they say yes.
Keep following up. So before you were a corporate girly, right? And I feel like that's a very big switch to a solo entrepreneur. What was the mindset shift like for
It's
you?
overwhelming. Sometimes it's over, and you know how many times I think I cannot do this. I don't have what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Like I don't have the mindset. Like I don't have the. Yeah, it was a huge shift. But I think when I started, I signed up with UFA to help me in the first month because I wanted to do the switch, and they have the help package to like help you.
If
And
it, this is like the, what do you call it? It's a company that helps people with burnouts or like when they can't work anymore. The
it's
insurance?
like no, it's not insurance. It's like when it's like the government place where you don't have job and then you sign up.
Ah, okay.
So I sign up for them and I say, guys, at the moment I'm not making. They can help you based on your income, right? They're gonna pay a certain amount of money from your previous income. I was like, but I want to switch to owning my own business, you know. And you get an advisor.
Yeah.
And the advisor was this. She said she was 3 weeks before her pension lady who was like, yeah, social media, what it is, blah, blah, blah. Like she was super negative every single time.
Okay.
And I want to shine any bad light on UFA itself. But like, it was so crazy. And she was like, I think the reason you want to work for yourself is because you are afraid you're going to go to a company and there's going to be another toxic boss. And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. But I also absolutely cannot, because I've developed a regime after my burnout where I incorporated gym in my daily life to the point where I either go in the morning or around lunchtime. And if I'm somewhere in the office, I wouldn't be able to do this. And if you would know how much it does to me, like the productivity, the brain cells work, like everything, you would have let me go to the gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't want it to do the interviews. I didn't want it to be, I was in a very negatively, not negative, but I was very like, I just don't want to do interviews. I don't want to look for a job. I just want to work for myself and try to make this work, you know? Like if other people can do it, I can do it as well. So I think I'm still shifting the mindset because March was very bad month for me.
This month.
Yeah, very bad month. And I'm thinking that, okay, it's not working. I'm just going to go back to the job. I have a diploma. I have great experience. I took care of really huge clients previously with a very big turnover. So there is some kind of strategic thinking, and like there is, like I do have brain for some things, but every single time the creative part was missing. I've never had in any of the companies enough space to be creative. And I miss that so much. And my friends are like, why don't you go and work for marketing? It would have to be a company where everybody's equal. and where we can discuss the things and where your ideas are taken into account as well. Because many times when I had an idea, they would be like, ah, you're just a account manager. Like, what the fuck do you know?
Yeah.
Like, and
They wouldn't take it serious.
Yeah, and I'm like floating. Like sometimes I see things on social media, some advertising, like I would do it like this and like this, and like my head is like creativity is going from one side to the other one, and I always have things that I'm like, oh, let's do it like this. So I think the creative part has always been there, but what had to be shifted was the way that now I have to organize myself every single day. My finances, like there's no one salary coming, you know, there's just like people paying or not paying. Last year I also had a few clients that were like very late with their payments. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to get an accountant and she's going to help me. And it's like all over the place. I think that's really tough. But I can imagine until I am fully making money with UGC, I can imagine that I would help someone on the side. I think also freelancing is kind of very challenging, at least for someone who never done it before. But when I think about all the things that I have done for a company, I'm like, I can do this as a external person, you know, like I mean, I have the experience, even if maybe in my team leading position, I worked 2 years and as a account manager was 1.5 years, like it's still knowledge that I'm able to give. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you will go back to when you started out with UGC, what would you have done differently with your experience that you have now?
I'm telling you everything. Really, I would have built up my portfolio from the beginning. I would have been a lot more aggressive. Not aggressive in a bad way, but a lot more stricter with this is what I offer. Because a lot of, at the beginning, the amount of time that I said yes, and I was like, I'm getting underpaid, but I just said yes. Because I wanted to, you know, I think the UGC is the more you practice, the better you are. Like I look at my videos from last year and I'm like, this is such a crap. I would have done it so much better now. So I would have allowed myself to practice a lot more on anything at home, you know? Like I always thought I need a product or something to practice. Like, no, just like get a book at home and like practice angles, practice talk, practice voiceovers, practice storytelling. So I would have done probably everything totally differently. I would have built up my portfolio. I would have pitched the clients differently. I would have never like go under the radar. And I know that sometimes they're like, yeah, but I always paid my, because I would have some people telling me like, always pay my UGC 80 euros in video. And I'm like, that kind of gives you like, oh my God, I'm too expensive. Like, no, stand behind what you can do and what you offer. Like your face is on social media, because a lot of the times UGC is not only on social media, they're using it as a paid advertisement, which means they're making money with your face.
Yeah.
So I think this whole thing has to be a little bit, and I don't know, I think that in US they do a lot better job than here in Europe. I think that in US they take it a lot more serious, and that's my impression. And they understand that because it's being used for paid advertisement means that people are making money, because the paid advertisement, you pay for it, but it's advertisement that reaches people who are going to purchase your product or your service based on me wearing it or me, you know? So how many times I saw a girl and I was like, oh my gosh, she's cute, I'm going to get it, you know?
Yeah.
So I would have done a lot of things differently. But, you know, that's the beauty of life. Like if you, sometimes people ask me, like, because I got married very young. I'm divorced in between, but sometimes, yeah.
She has lived different lives, multiple lives already.
Sometimes I feel with my experience, I'm like, oh my God, I should be 40. I just turned 30. But I would have done that whole part of my life as well differently. But that's the, like, I believe that's the part of the journey, you know? Like everybody has a journey, and I think it's already written somewhere that this is the journey I'm supposed to take to become the person I'm supposed to be. And if all those things wouldn't happen, I've never learned certain things. I've never been the person I am today. So it's the same with UGC. It's an experience. And yes, I could have made a lot more money, but I would maybe never know those guys, you know, or like, I always think like every single thing it's supposed to be as it is, you know. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes you have people who think like, oh, maybe I should have done it like this or like this. No, how you did it is exactly how it was supposed to be, because it brought you somewhere. Everything is a lesson or a blessing. So yeah.
Yeah. Coming back to the fact that it's easier to get started with UGC in America, because the trend started there, right? And then it flew over to Europe
Yeah.
and UK. And I noticed that it's very hard to pitch to brands and like have them value the value of
Yeah.
UGC
Yeah.
and then also get you paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that in US, it's, first of all, there's a lot more brands who are actively using it. They understood already long before us that that people buy from people.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, again, influencers are still 100% important, but I wish, and maybe I'm in my bubble surrounded by people who are like some of the influencers I follow on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, like, why, you know, like, can you not talk about like the hungry kids in Africa, or like the health problems we have, or like, you know, the, because my mom is always like, oh, in my generation we didn't have burnout, and I see the increase of people.
Yeah.
I see the increase of people, and I get annoyed when people say it's not a real thing, because we are living very different world. Like, the social media has a huge impact on you as well. Also, the pressure from the society, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it was a lot easier to buy a house. Like, I could not afford a house with a very good salary I had, you know. So as a corporate girl, I had a really, really good salary.
Yeah.
I could not afford buying a house. Like, wow, you know. So that's all the pressure that... So I wish they would sometimes... Sorry, that's like super off the topic. But yeah, I think in US, there's a lot more companies using it. It's a lot more common. They're a lot more... I don't know anyone who is doing it there. I just do a lot of TikTok research. And I see that compared to Europe, we're complaining a lot more about the rates and about that it's actual job, because people don't see it as an actual job, which is sad. And they also say everybody can do it. That's not true. That's not true, because there are people who just don't have the sense for it, you know. They don't have the... You need to have certain skill set, and there are things that you can learn, but there are things that you, if you don't have the, it's like a feeling, you know. It's like with cooking. We're gonna, I cannot, like, even if I want to, we cannot all be good at cooking. That's the same, we cannot be all be good at content. That's why with UGC I would also be very, like, you know, pick up people based on their portfolio and based on their skills, but also based on their personality. I think it's so important that the person has good energy, because I don't know if we were already recording when I was doing like this, buy this and buy that.
I think we were.
I cannot stand that. It's like, what the hell is this? Like, I can be dramatic person, but sometimes when I see all this fakeness, I'm like, I would never buy from you. And I have no clue how this works on people, but I would never purchase a thing.
Do you think that's one of the biggest misunderstandings in UGC? Like, what other people think about it?
I think the biggest misunderstanding is that people think that anybody can do it, that it's not an actual job, that you're just like... People are making actually fun.
Oh.
Like, oh, you're a content creator? Like, I'm like, it's an actual job, and it's difficult. Like, the amount of times where... What was I do? I don't know. There are some... Just like one random example, I had sneakers and I was like dropping them down and I was trying to film it. And it was the movement that my hand was after like 5 minutes, like, oh my God, wait a second. So the amount of time you're in weird positions, like it is an actual job. Like, you're actually giving your energy, heart, skills, your point of view, you're building the story. Like, I get very upset when people say it's not a job. Because I spend a lot of time doing that. Yeah. And it's I think people should be paid for it. No, I don't think they should be paid for it, because if you're gonna further on use it on your Instagram, you know, the whole thing with UGC is that user generated content is content that you make, you sell, and then they use it on their social media. Fair enough. If you don't want to pay me, at least publicly give me credit, because this is also something that happens. People are like, I had my TikTok videos downloaded and I found them somewhere on somebody else's account. And they didn't give me credit. And I was like, I want the credit because then it increases at least my following, right?
Yeah.
Like, because they all say you don't have to have followers to do UGC. Yes, that's true. Fair point. Because I'm getting paid for the content. But if I'm not getting paid for the content and you want to do exchange, give me credit, collab with me, reshare my post, like, please, like, otherwise, what am I getting out of it? You know, it has to be either. Like, it's the same when people, like, when you go to Alberheim or whatever supermarket, you're not going to be like, can I have a bread and then the spread for free? Because, you know, like, that's not how it works. So, yeah.
You said that not everybody is able to be a good UGC creator, but what does it take to be a successful one?
That's a very good question. I have no clue because I'm not successful. But I think for me personally is that, and I think this is the side of the corporate world where I had to learn how to communicate with people. And I mean, I did communications management as a university, at the university. So I think a lot of the people are very good with doing the content itself, but they're very bad with communicating, following up, negotiating. So I think it's a full package that makes you successful. And like I know about myself, like I have to change strategy now because a lot of the deals failed on the negotiation part, which makes me very upset because I know I have the skill set to communicate good and to create a good content. So I'm like, this whole piece of negotiation is now going to fall apart, and these two things that are really good. So I think it's a whole package, you know. It's basically it's the person you are, it's the personality.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I mentioned it, but like last year I had a guy who told me that the video is good and he said, I'll pay for you. And I want to tell you that I have had better creators, but their communication was horrible. He said, you are very polite, you reply, you communicate with me, you gave me suggestions, you gave me, like, I was so impressed by how professional you were that I would come back to you even if I could get, and it's of course very rare because a lot of the people will go for maybe cheaper and maybe, you know, it's not that the quality was not good, but just I think the hook could have been a lot better, and now I would have done it very differently again. Experience. But it makes me very happy when the people say like, I like to work with you because of your personality and because of how professional you are and because of you know. So I think it's a whole package. Did I reply to the question?
Yeah, fair. Yeah. So it also takes a professional side.
Definitely.
Behind the scenes.
Definitely, 100%. Like having a good quality, but it's also maybe something that, you know, when I was in the corporate role and I worked as a team leader, I used to tell my team that I will hire you for your attitude and I will train you for your skills.
Yeah.
And I think this is something that I've taken to a lot of the spheres of my life, is that once you have shitty attitude, I cannot teach you to have a good attitude. I can teach you the skills.
Yeah.
So, and it maybe just like speaks a little bit against, because I'm telling you that you can have a good content, but like the attitude and like the way you treat people and the professional package, like that has to be there. For me, that's a good UGC creator, is someone who's professional, someone who knows what he's doing, someone who has like the trends, that knows what's going on social media, someone who has very good understanding of the brand, you know. Do you do a research about the brand? Do you see what they have been doing last year? Do you understand their strategy, the marketing? Like, have you, like, this is all the package, you know, because just creating content for content, it's nice, but have understanding of what a brand is doing as well.
Yeah.
Are we like good on time?
Yeah, we're half an hour in. So
Okay.
you have another half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you selective with the brands that you pitch to? Because you already said that their mission and their
Vision.
current marketing strategy has to align with diversity, inclusivity.
Yeah. I'm gonna be super, super honest. Like, there are some brands that, and I really don't wanna like put anybody, so I don't know if I should name them, but like there are some brands that, for example, if they produce everything in, let's say, Temu, I'd never do content for Temu.
Yeah.
I've purchased myself 2 times something from them, and I was feeling so horrible that I said I'm never gonna do that, and I would never do content for them. It's nothing against them, it's just that it does not align with, and I don't want to be a hypocrite, I don't want to be walking around being like, oh, I'm a sustainable person, which I'm not, but like saying one thing and then doing the other. So I'm trying, I think at the beginning, to gain the experience and the knowledge, because I'm also a very practical person, so I need to keep on doing things. Now I'm a lot more like, I want to do good quality work, so I'm going to be choosing, and I'm pitching the brands that I like, genuinely like, I genuinely use, I genuinely believe in them. And I'm not going to be pitching, like, I literally looked, because I'm not very like I have now full makeup on, but like I'm not really like makeup girly, like, oh, come and get ready with me, like the tutorials and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be really good at that, but I did look home what I'm using, and I was trying to pitch those brands, because I'm like, hey, I'm using your blush and I love it, I can do content for you, but if there are brands that I've never used and I'm gonna be pitching them, and I'm like what, because I think the whole point of user generated content is as well is that you are the user who is using the products and then making the content out of it, So, and again, not to be hypocrite, of course, last year I tried to take anything and everything, and now I have decided more that I want to be more of the quality than of the quantity. And if it means that at some point next month, I would have to get a part-time job just to cover my expenses, fine.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that, because my name is on it, and my name is my reputation. I want to make sure that that's, good and aligned, and
Yeah. So now you kind of have the luxury of being more selective.
I don't think I have the luxury, because I think it's a personal choice. I could still take everything, and I could still sign up, because I use a lot of platforms that are the brands can
give you like Influi or
yeah, where the brands can post the content that they need, and then you can sign for it, and then you either get chosen or not.
Yeah.
And I could just pitch every single one, and I probably could get few more than I'm getting. But I just don't want to do it, because I'd rather do something that I'm like fully aligned with. And also the thing is that we have to realize that you are keeping the product. I don't want to have a bunch of products that I don't use at my house, That's why I also made the decision to shift a bit more towards travel, towards restaurants. There's a lot of places like coffees and restaurants that don't get the online presence, and they're amazing. And it's like, I don't know, I have one now, I think, on top of my head. It's a very, very famous place in The Hague. It's a falafel place.
Okay.
And to be honest, I have to look into their social media, how it looks. But that place, I would love to help them, because it's like, it's the most genuine guy owning it. He's so nice. He treats every single customer. Like, these are things I want to do, I want to generate content for places that, like this, that I'm feeling like, oh my God, it's so nice. So I'm trying to switch from having all the stuff, unless it's like gym clothes, which I will use as well, and I can totally do gym content, or healthy products, vitamins. I have one really nice collaboration with a vitamin brand. Otherwise I think I don't want to just have a bunch of stuff at home that I'm just gonna do content for, and I'm gonna dump it,
Yeah. Fair.
So
Check out
I'm someone who is very, very, very open towards the others, and not always open towards myself. Meaning that maybe if I would be a lot more, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, for a long time, people had no clue what I'm doing. So if I would be a lot more open, maybe on social media, maybe with my friends, maybe with my network, then I would be already further, because people would be like, oh, I know this one. Oh, I know this one. Oh, I know that, like, you can do. So, and because I was a little bit in my bubble, keeping it to myself, maybe because I was for a long time quite like ashamed that I went from amazing corporate job to doing this, which isn't true that it's not a job. It's a job.
We established that, yeah.
It's a job. So yeah, I think surround yourself with people who are entrepreneurs and people who do the same. So if I would be a lot more loud about it, then I could probably have a lot more connections. But because I'm very open to people but not open about this, it's sort of like, I don't know, it's sort of like not disabling me, but yeah,
Pulling you back.
Yeah. And maybe keeping some opportunity, like some of the opportunities I could have, I don't because of this. There's a lot of, I mean, I think everybody has, like, I have a lot of things to work on, definitely.
Yeah.
When it comes to personality as well, and like things that I do, not only work-wise, but also just like, you know, private-wise, like I need to be a lot more open about this, and I need to talk a lot more about it, and I need to connect a lot more. Like I was really hesitant if I'm gonna go, because I'm very, very social person, but I'm very social person with people I click.
Yeah.
And if we don't click, I can be just like social, but like a lot less open, you know? Like I feel that's what I told you, like I had such a good energy. I was like, oh, she's such a nice person. Like that's why I was like, I probably, to somebody else, maybe I would say no about this, you know? I would be like, I'm not gonna, you know, I have other things to do. But
on a Saturday, yeah. Fair.
But it's just that I wanted to do it because I saw how much enthusiasm you had and how alive you were and how happy you were about these things. And I was like, oh my God, I want to support it, but it's also something that makes me happy. So it's like, it's really nice when the energy is like reciprocated.
Yeah. Oh, I really appreciate that. Yeah. So talking about the content that you like to make most, what would you consider your favorite type of video?
The travel content, definitely. And it's like, I really want to make it like very authentic for people to see that. Because, for example, just to give, because Zanzibar is like probably the best experience and the only one I have. The people think very often about Zanzibar, you need to have a lot of money and it's very expensive and it's dangerous because Africa, blah, blah. So I love to make content that shows people that, yes, you can. Yes, it's nice. You don't have to be afraid. It's a lot of fun. You can make it fun. That kind of content. And then I really like something that doesn't resonate with my Instagram at all, and it's like so sad. It's like restaurant content. Like there's never, the views are horrible. It's like super, nobody ever comments anything. You guys should comment on my restaurant. But I love that. I really love that. I love to do like content of places, you know. Like it doesn't matter if it's a museum or like a restaurant or like it's just attraction, like places. I know that last year, I think it was last year or maybe the year before. I think it was last year. I went alone to a festival, Seven Fest, which is one of my most favorite festivals. It's from Frena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I really like that festival. So I went there alone and I did like hey, you know, I'm alone at the festival. You can do this and this and this and it's fun and just talk to random people and I really like that. I think I would actually love to do that. And today I'm supposed to go to an event and it's going to be the first officially UGC creation for an event. And those are things I would love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it also because of how social person I am. I love to connect people and I get a lot of energy out of people.
Yeah.
A lot of energy. So for me, it's like now I spend a lot of time at home and I would actually love to have someone I could do UGC with as well sometimes because I'm like, oh, like, it's not that I wouldn't have the idea, but sometimes I'm like, it would be so nicer and so faster if we can do this together and, you know, so.
You know, I had the same dilemma or issue as well because I have to make content for a brand that wants content outside where, you know, you showcase the product, how you wear it, and then I was like, oh my God, but I have nobody to film me.
Yeah.
And then I asked a friend of mine who is actually like studying at the art academy in The Hague, and she does filmmaking. So I just asked her like, could you please film me? But it's still like you have to, you know, set an appointment together and come together. Like it's the tripod is not a fix at all in that case. Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's the same thing with me. Like there were friends, like gym buddies, you know, that I sometimes meet at the gym, and they're like, why don't you do gym content? Like you're so trained and like you look so good and this and this. And I'm like, because I'm gonna have to be here with a tripod, and I hate people who come to the gym with a tripod.
Oh.
But I would love to do that because if it in any way motivates anybody to go to the gym or do any, like I do all kinds of different things at the gym, you know, it's not always machine, it's weight training, strength training, like it's a lot of things that I could share. And I'm not like personal trainer or like certified person, but I've learned a lot of things myself. I get a lot of knowledge from my personal trainers friends. I had a personal trainer before. I have now one friend who goes to the gym and he studied for personal trainer. So I'm always like, hey, come and see, like, am I doing it good? You know, but like still, if I would want to do that, I would love to do that. Because if I could potentially ever get a collaboration with one of the really big gym brands, like, oh my God, I would love that, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, collaboration, like if I could make content for them, that would be crazy. But yeah, I just get so annoyed by the tripod at the gym. It's like such a fight in your head, because the gym is a place for me when I go, when my head is full and I'm emptying it there. And at the same time, I also want to make like it's not always coming together, you know?
Yeah.
Because then sometimes I'm with my headphones and I just don't want to do anything. And then when you're supposed to film content, I cannot be the whole time like, because that's how I sometimes walk at the gym,
focus,
you know?
Yeah. In the zone.
Yeah. With my big headphones. Yeah.
Yeah. And then switching to a job that is very stable to a income stream that is very unstable, how do you deal with that uncertainty of like, am I getting enough this month?
Very bad. Very bad. I cry a lot. It's something that people are not gonna tell you, because I'm a queen of pretending I'm okay. I'm a queen of being like, life is good, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
But then when I have to pay my rent, I'm like, am I gonna start OnlyFans? Like, what's going on? You just had water.
I've never done content creation. Would you be able to be a UGC creator when you're like also an OnlyFans creator, I think?
I don't know. I know.
Would it be like a buzzkill, or would they? Or would they say, "Oh my God, that's perfect"? You match our brand.
I have no clue, but yeah, sometimes I'm like, okay, how else do I make money if I'm not, you know? But I cope with it very. I can be very like. My mom always says that my emotional scale is like normal people, it's like 1 to 5. Mine is like -0, 10 to 27. So it's like either I'm super happy or I'm like super depressed.
There's no between.
Yeah, but I have to say that I have very supportive parents. And I hate to ask them for help, but worst case scenario, I could do that. Hate to do that. But that's what I also said, like, you know, if it doesn't work in the scale of paying my rent and stuff, then I'm just gonna find something part-time, but I'm never gonna give up on making this full-time one day. Like, I'm definitely, and I have met people in real life in Bali or like other places where they're making full-time income out of being not UGC content creators, but I do believe you can make UGC also full-time, and I would love to do that. For one thing and one thing only, it's the freedom that comes with it. And I don't mean freedom in a way that I don't want to do 9 to 5, because in a way I also have some kind of schedule. It's more of the freedom that if I don't feel well and I want to hit the gym, just go to the gym at 11. You know, I worked last night until 2:30. I was actually setting up my Fiverr and Upwork accounts, because I had them, but they were very shitty. So I decided to really invest my time and put my portfolio there and like really, you know, narrow down and be very serious about those 2 platforms as well. Also for like freelance work, not just like UGC, but if I could help anybody with like setting up Instagram, you know, like people don't know how to post a reel. you know, and if I can help you,
Really?
yeah, of course, there are people who just,
Yeah.
you know, they were never interested about it, or they don't know how to do it. And again, not everybody has a talent for it, you know, everybody has a talent for something else. So if somebody has no clue about social media, and I would help them, I would love to do that, you know. So I work on those two platforms, and which means that if I would have to imagine, it's not Friday, but I didn't have to get up at 7 this morning, you know what I mean? So I think I like very much the freedom of being able to organize everything yourself. Hence, it's still very difficult, because if you have all the time, I think that's what I'm now figuring out in the new strategy, because I'm like trying to change my strategy, is that I'm gonna have to have something stable, not only because I'm home a lot, which is making me crazy, and I'm a person who gets a lot of energy out of people. So I need, that's like, if I could even work in the coffee place for 2 days, I would love that, because I love people. I love people, you know. And I know I have a diploma, and coffee is not a place I, you know, like I get this, but just do what makes you happy, you know. Like I think that's ultimately, I had my whole life this picture of me where I'm gonna get married, get a corporate job, I'm going to climb the corporate ladder, I'm going to become the director of the department, I'm going to have my 2 kids, I'm going to have my happy husband, and life is good. And then none of this happened, and I'm a lot happier person inside, making a lot less money, even if I'm struggling, you know, it's fine. Worst case scenario, I'll go and sell clothes, or I'll go to stock shelves in Alberheim. I have 2 hands and two legs, like it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not preferred, but you know, I'm not afraid to do things. Like I'm not one of the people who's like, oh my god, no. Like everybody had to do that job once as well.
Talking about your schedule, right? You said that you don't have a 9 to 5, but you do have something you stick to. What does a day as a UGC creator look like?
So I prefer, and I have been not very good around. So I came from Bali in February, towards the end, mid, and I haven't been very focused. Like I haven't been really following the schedule I had before, that I would start with the gym in the morning, then I would see, because I'm trying to do my, like last year I was having the turnover, like with the video, if somebody would send me that they need something, I would tell them 24 to 48 hours.
Wow.
Which is great advantage for me, because I'm able to do it. But then it's also putting a certain pressure on me, because if for most of the videos you need to do your hair, your makeup, blah blah, and it wasn't happening. So now I'm trying to have like 2 or 3 days where I'm like shooting, and then the rest of the days editing, and like, you know, sending it to the client, and then the client sends it back, and they have feedback time and blah blah.
Yeah.
But since I came from Bali, I'm trying to implement the strategy. Well, I'm trying to implement the days, like I start with the gym, even if it's at 11. Like I'm still trying to, you know, hit the gym before I open a computer. I'm trying not to sleep in. I'm trying to get up on time.
Yeah.
And I usually, most important things are pitching, finding clients, editing, learning new things. Like I'm someone, I find it very hard to take any course, or like do anything that I'm like I'm very like on to go person. So if I have a video and I don't know how to do something, I'm just gonna go on YouTube, check it, and then I'm gonna do it, and then I will remember.
Yeah.
But I will never remember if you show me like, this is how you do it, and then you remember for the next time. That's not playing with me.
Yeah.
So
It's more like learning as you do.
exactly. Yeah. So the days are very varied, but like I'm trying to now, it's not that I wouldn't have the turnover of 24 to 48 hours. Like if somebody would come to me and they're like, hey, can I have a video? Of course I can do it for you in a day or 2, but I'm trying to be more mindful of my time and just shoot it in, you know, 1 or 2 days, and then use the rest for editing and stuff. And like right now, most of my days are pitching. Most of my days are now finding clients, pitching clients, talking to them, following up, trying to see what works, what doesn't work, like do a lot of research. Like I've spent massive amount of time on TikTok.
Is that where you do your research?
Yes.
Is that where you find brands as well?
Yes and no. So I would find like TikTok, because there is a advertisement centrum, the library. I would use Instagram hashtags. I would
How do you use Instagram hashtags?
You just hashtag UGC creator, or like UGC video, and then I can show you on Instagram
Yeah.
where you And then Google, YouTube, X, Threads.
Yeah. Is X good to let brands find you or find brands? Because I feel like the Dutch
I don't
X
have.
community is not really.
Yeah, I don't have the account. I'm just trying to look for brands there, literally just for a brand name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for like in the Netherlands, like I am assigned to multiple platforms. And like I found one that's like, I think it's called Dream.2, which is, that has like 90% American, you know, so it doesn't even apply to me.
Yeah.
I have close to 20 accounts on different, yes. Yeah, that's what.
Damn.
Yeah, that's why I'm now trying to like
Narrow it down. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like too much to be checking those platforms. But there are some that are very good, like Vitsi. There's some serious money there. Like those people there are brands like Clinique. Oh my God, what is my? I'm thinking, what's the brand name? Garnier. There are some pet dog, because I have a little dog as well who sometimes does UGC with me. You gotta do it, dude. Yeah, poor him. Last year I did videos for a guy who owns a website with dogs, accessories, and like dog things, and he was sending us some stuff, and I was forcing my dog to do UGC. Poor puppy.
Unpaid labor for the dog.
Hey, I paid the rent he lives in. Like, come on, he lives rent free. And you know what? He takes more bed than me. Like, he takes more space in the house. So, yeah.
So, is there anything that we didn't touch upon during our talk that you want to mention?
Why is it so hard? I'd say that for anyone who doubts, just don't doubt. Do it. Do it anyway, even if it's wrong. Do it. Like, I always say that the beauty is in trying. Like, even if you fail, like, what is actually a failure, you know? There's nothing like a failure, because you tried. It's an experience. You learn from it. So now you do it differently. Like, just keep on trying. Don't give up. This is what if my friends ever see this, they're gonna be like, oh really, Sarah, because you're crying like 5 times a week and we're telling you not to give up, and now you're telling the other people not to give up.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Don't give up. And I would also say that know what your strengths are, so you can really focus on that. As I mentioned, like if my strength is not, oh, this is my morning routine, you know, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, no, I think we covered a lot. Yeah.
And I also love seeing your content that you post on social media too, you know.
That's one thing, very good point. So last year there is not even one of the videos that I have done from any of the things I have done for the e-commerce guys, because most of the time, so they have social media, but because I saw the video and they use it as a paid advertisement, I never posted it on my Instagram.
Okay.
So people last year had no freaking clue what is huge. Like not even my friends. My friends were like, "What? What the fuck is she doing?" But I would say, like, now the suggestion from a lot of people was like, maybe you should create a separate Instagram. But I don't want to do it because I'm not posting that offer personal things on my Instagram, I think. According to me, I don't think my Instagram that personal, but I think it's personal enough for the person to see what kind of person I am, what's the energy I'm bringing. And I really, really love when I have someone coming to my Instagram being like, hey, I think you're a really nice person. Like, I have this product. Would you be open to do UGC? Like, that's my, like, love that, you know? I want people to know that I do UGC, but I want people to know that I'm a person, a human being, first of all, and that this is my work, but I also have a private life. And that is, I sometimes feel like in today's world, we somehow are losing a bit of the humanity, and we sometimes forget that the person on the other side of the account is a real person with a real feelings and a real life. and shit is happening all the time. So try to be just be a kind person. Like just try to understand that the account has a personality. So yeah.
So posting on your Instagram to expose yourself to like other people and brands and your personal brand, that really helped you too.
Yeah, I want to do that now because I wasn't doing it last year. So this year's part of the strategy is also like posting also the UGC work for other people to see, because it was actually a very nice thing. What happened to me is that I did UGC for Novotel in The Hague, and the sweetest lady ever. She's just so sweet, and she was like, "Hey, I have seen on your Instagram this restaurant," and I was like, "She has seen I did." Video for a restaurant, but it was not a UGC. I just wanted to have it in my portfolio, and she has seen it, and she was like, could you do something like that for our restaurant?" Aww. And I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, is that if people don't know you can do it, even if I tell you, like, this is the thing with the transitions as well. So I know how to do a lot of cool transitions in CapCut, but people don't know that because they don't see it on my Instagram. So I'm now trying to, on my personal or in the UGC, incorporate some of the things so that they can see that these are things I can do as well. Because if I tell you I can do CapCut from bottom to up, like, you don't understand what it means. Yeah. But if I show you, these are the transitions, these are the cool tricks, this is this, then you are a lot more like, oh yeah, she can do this, or maybe. Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to have it all on my personal account as well. But my personal account is a lot of people from my high school, my my university, my ex-husband's family, he had a huge family, my friends from everywhere. Like, I used to live in Brighton in UK, so from there I like, from all the jobs that I've ever done, all the people are there, and I think that sometimes they are like, what is she doing?
I have my friends asking the same thing.
Is it relatable?
What is UC?
Yeah.
Where can listeners find you online?
Okay, so I've changed my name. Finally, you haven't experienced it, but previously I was called Princess Sara. Yeah. Because Sara actually means princess.
In which language?
It's just the meaning of the name.
Oh, cool.
It's princess. Yeah. So probably that's why my dad gave it to me. I don't know. I would have to ask him. But for ever since I had Instagram, I was Princess Sara with like numbers as well, like whatever. And now I changed to Sara Avi, Sara.avi and then _ and I changed it to Avi because it's like a playful way of saying that Avi is for aviation, so like freedom, like travel, like enjoyment, and then it's also .av is like the format file for video. I think it's for videos. Yeah. So that's the creative part, so people understand like, hey, she can create something as well. So yeah, a lot of people think that's my second, like my surname, like that's not my surname. But I thought it was really like something that resonates with me and with what the direction I want to go to. Yeah. So
okay, we'll link it in the description of the podcast. And
thank you.
Thank you very much for being on the show for the very first episode.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it, and I think you are doing an amazing job, and you should keep on doing this. And whenever the podcast is out, I'm gonna share it.
Yes, we're gonna make more content out of it.
Yeah.